Goodwill project gets a flying start as school children in Hollywood load packages aboard trucks bound for the Friendship Train. The train, carrying gifts of food for starving Europeans, gets a send-off with a typical Hollywood premiere on the first leg of its trip across the continent. The motion picture industry is giving generously, as are thousands young and old who wish to aid our friends abroad who face either untold suffering or communist control. The project is an addition to the governmental grain program headed by Charles Luckman and is an outright offering by Americans. At Fresno, California, crowds greet the Friendship Train as it arrives to hook on additional cars of food donated by the city and surrounding countryside. In addition to milk, canned goods, and other food products, gifts of money have been collected. New carloads of vital supplies are coupled on at each stop, and the train is expected to arrive in New York in 2 sections, hauling 200 cars. Stockton, California is another stop on the Friendship route, over which the railroads are carrying the train at no cost as their part of the gift program.
It's a green light and a clear track for the Friendship Train as it rolls across the salt flats of Utah and roars over the endless trestles spanning Great Salt Lake. Mile after mile over America's Great West speeds the train that is our personal answer as a nation to the hungry of Europe. Through the snowbound rangeland of the cattle country, this mighty symbol of America's generosity rolls ever eastward. Everyone has helped. Railroads have hauled the train free. Unions have donated labor. Civic organizations have banded to fill the cars with the needed food. The spirit of 48 states is in this enterprise, and at every stop, enthusiastic crowds gather to hear Drew Pearson, originator of the Friendship Train. All have worked. The big people and the little folks have pooled their efforts to fill the cars. From whistle stops off the main line to the metropolitan centers, cars are loaded with food and more food. Flour, milk, dried vegetables, dried fruit, canned vegetables, rice. These are the staples that pour into the Friendship Train night and day as it grows steadily, car by car, en route to the Atlantic seaboard. America's pioneers of the vast West once knew the meaning of hunger. Today, their descendants remember. Hundreds of thousands have joined in the mass effort, and the Friendship Train grows ever longer after each stop. It carries to Europe not an official government aid program, but the answer of a free people who have heard the cry of their neighbors in want. It is the free will offering by an America that wants to share. America's gesture of goodwill, the Friendship Train, speeds east through the world's greatest market basket, the Middle West. And the giving is lavish as the train halts at the great wheat centers of America's agricultural heart. Many a car swells the total as the Friendship Train roars into Chicago. From an idea, the train has mushroomed into a project in which millions of eager hands are joined. Food becomes a refrain and a theme as thousands of tons pour into the cars destined for Italy and France. And always it's the youngsters who respond eagerly to the call. The last dash to the East Coast. At Pittsburgh, Mayor Lawrence greets Drew Pearson, the train's originator. Virtually all services, as well as the food, have been donated to make the Friendship Train the symbol of goodwill it is intended to be. And now, look at the mighty train as it rounds famed Horseshoe Curve in Pennsylvania. Railroads have hauled the train across the continent free of charge. So huge has the train become that during the last stages of the trip, its 214 cars are broken up into 5 sections, and it picks up speed for the final run. The train nears its goal as it rolls down the banks of the Hudson to New York, where the food will be transshipped to Europe. It's a race between America's great humanitarian effort and the bitter winter months just ahead overseas. The vast American nation has poured out its surplus, and New York looms at journey's end for the Friendship Train. Here is the traditional big town's welcome. Fireboats spray their salute in lower New York Harbor as 33 of the cars on floats are paraded past the Statue of Liberty, presented by France to the United States 60 years ago. Today, American food returns to France, America's answer to a call of distress. ceremonies at Independence Hall, the cradle of liberty in Philadelphia, welcome a section of the Friendship Train carrying America's gift of food for a hungry France and Italy. From the cars, the goodwill gift is transferred to a ship. And on the dock, Drew Pearson and Mayor Samuel of Philadelphia see Mrs. Pearson name the United States line vessel the Friendship. Next up on the food ship's route is New York, where additional loading swells the cargo to a total of 8 million pounds. This is the first of the 4 ships which will carry the 500 carloads of food donated. The second will sail to Italy. The line is providing transport free as its part of the friendship gesture. At the New York ceremonies, thanks from his grateful country is extended by Ludovic Chancel, French Consul General. The gifts from America's heart, which were gathered from every state in the Union, set out to relieve the hardships and hunger of an old ally across the sea.
The French gratitude train races toward the West Coast and journeys end. In Los Angeles, vast crowds hail France's thanks for America's Friendship food train. The welcoming committee includes California's Governor Earl Warren and the Mayor of Los Angeles, Fletcher Bauer. Highlight of the ceremonies is the presentation to Harry M. Warner of a torch lighted from the eternal flame at the tomb of France's unknown soldier. National Chairman of the American Friendship Food Train, Mr. Warner expresses the hope that these examples of international brotherly love may be the forerunners of peace on earth and goodwill toward all men among all the peoples of the world.